Hello, I'm Minstrel, and today I bring you another video. Today we are doing a Deathwatch Bladeguard. Specifically a black shield, because I couldn't be bothered to think of what company or what chapter this guy should be a part of. So he's black shield. Pretty easy. Makes it easier to do this model. Alright. I'm mainly doing this just to try and work on me getting better at black armor. Alright. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another video. And help me reach 500 subscribers. I have recently got my hands on 2 Knight Destroyers. The medium armor Knight from Warhammer 40k. And I have plans to make them both in Starting this Kitbash, I grabbed my hands on an old Bladeguard veteran, as well as a Black Templar chainsword in sheath with the leather sheath, and that will be the body along with the tilt shield of a regular Bladeguard, nothing too special. Then grabbing the Deathguard Veterans Firstborn kit, not the new one, Firstborn, but you can use the new one. The Primaris one, but I'm using the Firstborn one, so that is the reason why it's a bit of a different shield. That and a Deathguard bolter. Nothing too crazy of a kitbash, as well as a Saturnine Terminator's head. So realistically, it is just Deathwatch, Firstborn, Bladeguard, Saturnine Terminator, and then a not Dark Age, a Black Templar upgrade sprue sword. Luckily for me, I had all these kits previously. Putting on the arms, I tried my best to remember which arm everything goes to. So I remembered right arm is Pauldron of the Deathwatch. Left arm is usually heraldry. But for this one, he is a black shield, so therefore he does not have any. Black shields are usually unchaptered or have no markings of a chapter because they've either been exiled, disgraced, or a personal penance of sorts. Though with the black shield, there is a code of honor. In the Deathwatch, if you are a black shield, we don't ask questions. So that's kind of the goal I've gone for. So he's a bit of a, well, do what most people will say, because of the sword and a few little bits I have laying around and I add to this model. Because I believe I add just some random pouches, a pistol, no, a holster for the bolter pistol, which, by the way, why does Warhammer not just bother creating a holster that would actually theoretically fit the bolter into it? I understand it's big, but that's my gripe. Also, I really need to start waiting for my things to dry properly before trying to, well, stick more things to it. Slapping on the Saturnine Terminator's head, the one with the brow, looks like he's grumpy. That sorts that out, and then for the back, just for some extra detail, we're going for this pistol without a holster, without a handle, pouch with a grenade, severing this pouch and grenade from this knife, and then strapping on the knife. I wanted the knife as like an auxiliary weapon, just like a backup. Because so little people use knives. I don't understand why they don't just put a knife on their dude. Like, it's there, may as well. I don't see why they wouldn't carry a combat knife. Run out of fuel, power, damage the weapon, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, Bladeguard with a pistol. He's got his sword, so he's covered. Got a shield. He is actually playable, yeah. I'm just trying to think, yeah, no, he is 100% playable. I believe the sergeant of the Bladeguards actually uses a plasma pistol, I just have to, you just run it without a plasma pistol, simple as that. Nothing too crazy. They are on, I believe, a 35 mil. I will double check. Oh no, they use 40 mil bases, so I think this guy's got a slightly smaller base. No, actually, no, he does. No, if I'm remembering correctly, he has a 40 mil base. Damn it, now I gotta go measure it. I don't want to do that. I'm like 80% sure it's a 40 mil. If I'm wrong, well, there you go. I'm wrong. I'll admit I'm wrong if I am wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is a 40 mil base. Yeah. Well, this one's I don't know. I don't remember. Oh well. We got it. It's on the base anyway. I just use texture paste later on before I start painting and priming for the base, just to give it some attention. That's really it. I've never seen the doing some texture paste on the base as anything really worth showing, because everyone does it. It doesn't matter too much. Yes, this is an old model. I am reusing bits because I had a stockpile of damaged models that I've either dropped, crushed, tripped, and dropped, or it's just fallen apart and I haven't bothered to fix it. So I just got a pile of bits, and so I have been attending to them by rebuilding stuff and making new stuff. Let's get into painting. Model Air Dark Earth. The reason I did this is because I wanted to look a little bit more grungy, but in the end it doesn't really show. It's there, it's definitely there, you can see it, but it's just like, You could absolutely skip this step, I would say. But yeah, Model Air Dark Earth. Also, it's very watery, I don't know why. Its consistency was this watery. Army Painter Matte Black. Sprayed from above like a zenithal. Now, doing this model has helped me learn to test it another way to do black armor. Because I like using Deathwatch and, well, mostly Deathwatch to do black armor because they could be a bit more eccentric, I guess. A bit more fun instead of just Black Templar. I am weird, I know. Army Painter Matte Black. Game color Imperial Blue. I use this as a zenithal again for a sort of highlight. Now, looking at it now, I have an idea for next time. Go undertone, black. Use a bright blue or a blue of sort for edge highlights. Then come in with a light grey. Or no, not light grey, a really dark grey, and just gently mist it from above. Add Army Painter Matte Black to it. I meant Army Painter Matte White. I don't know why I read it that way. And then, yeah. So yeah, Army Painter Matte White. And then using Game Color Electric Blue and Army Painter Dark Toon. Start going around edge highlighting. I hate edge highlighting, but I've got to get better at it, so I'm forcing myself to edge highlight more. I know some people are going to look at me like, why bother? Well, guess what? Surprisingly, it does look nice when you get it, like when you get some crisper lines, but you do get the horrendous ones. And then some people will say, oh, it looks like Tron. Yeah, kinda. Army Painter Dark Toon. I use this as sort of like a fixer-upper. It kind of hides a lot of mistakes I make. And looks pretty good. Of course, my camera can't focus because my hand is in the way. Because I spray weird. Honestly, just to make like some cool neon looking dude. Army Painter, Plate Mail Metal, Game Color, Imperial Blue. Using this for all the metallics in a very watered down state, sort of get an idea of where things are. I take my time to focus on details and stuff like that, though I do miss the purity seal, like an idiot, like a dumbass, but that's fine. Add Army Painter Matte White to it, just to kind of lighten it up a bit. I get just sort of pull it away from just blue, from that bluish hue of metallic I made. Make it look more like steel. Going around just attacking everything. Adding highlights, details, bulking things out. Then add more Army Painter Plate Mail Metal to make it more of a metal color. And that kind of just sorts out the metals for me, pretty much. They look nice, they're smooth, which is kind of the best part. I even do the belt buckle, which is really odd for me. Citadel Base Dryad Bark. I use this for the leathers and anything that I'm going to paint gold. And I finally got my Citadel Dryad Bark paint consistency the way I like it. Slightly watered down enough that it was like goes on smooth in a couple of coats. Yeah, well, it usually goes in one coat, but isn't like thick. Army Painter Leather Brown, using a dry brushing method with a really old brush that's got multiple strands sticking out in all odd directions to give you that worn texture. And that like stripy pattern. As you can see, it looks so well and makes leather work so easy. And if you don't have one, grab an old brush that you're willing to do this with, and just slam it on the desk, just tap it on the desk. Model color white glaze. I use this for the little lantern on his belt, or on his gear. Why has he got a lantern there? No idea, he just has a lantern. It might be a purity thing, I have no clue. It does look cool as shit. Is there really a reason we need to have a lantern? So his eyes, his lenses, his engines, all of that. Then using Citadel Contrast Blood Angels Red. I do the mechanical eyes of the Deathwatch symbols, the lenses, and the engine of the chainsword. And that sorts him out pretty much for that stuff. I will come back and add to the lenses, and I do use it on the purity seal, yes. I always forget the purity seal, because I forgot the purity parchments. Then using Game Color Fluorescent Blue for the vents, and anything that's sort of power weapony, which is the shield is. I also use it to sort of map out the edges. Is this necessary? Absolutely not. But it does look pretty cool, in my opinion. Now, I was only going to do it half the shield, but then it fell into the other one, so I'm like, ah, stuff it, I may as well do the other half. I don't have the idea to do it in the middle, but we'll do that later. Game Color Fluorescent Orange. I use this to be a base for the lantern. I will do some slight OSL with overspill, but other than that, nothing too fancy. And then I tap it into the engine. Then using it again, I do tap the lenses. All the lenses, I will say, even the facial lenses, to give them a little bit of pop of color, because they are watered down there in this one. Citadel Contrast, striking scorpion green for all the mechanical computer screens, and the lens of the pistol. So getting some little bit of OSL onto the iron sight. Nothing too fancy. Citadel Contrast Frostheart. I use this to re-establish the edges because it is a slightly brighter blue contrast color, and I go over the areas again. Sort of a more rich blue. It is lighter than the fluorescent, but it isn't fluorescent. Then doing down the middles, that does the shield pretty much. Well, no, yeah, that is the shield done, and then I attack the vents. Citadel Base Triad Bark Game Color Glorious Gold. I use this for a, well, sort of the midway of gold, the beginning of my gold other than the Dryad Bark we based it with. There is chin, his relic on his belt, his shoulder pad, his like elbow guard thing. I'm not. What is that exactly? I don't know. Then come back in with Game Color Glorious Gold, and then use that as a highlight, hitting only the edges best I can. Hitting only the upper edges. That's right. I did forget to paint the handle of the sword in the sheath, the skull on it, with the gold originally, but I do come back and just do that later, like you can see now. Then using Game Color Fluorescent Yellow in Watered Down. I used it to establish a heat source inside the middle of the lamp. So it seems like there is emanating heat, like the hottest part is in the middle, grows out, yeah. Nothing too crazy. Ooh, could not do that with my chair. Citadel Base Dryad Bark, Army Painter Matte Black, and Model Color White Glaze. So this sort of creamy brown color for the base. It will dry a bit darker, and that's kind of fine with me because I didn't want anything too crazy for a base. Just something simple. Dirt will do me. It's a Death World or something. Dirt. Model Color Dark Earth. And then using this, and I just dry brush all over the rest of it. And that's the model pretty much finished. Oh no, here we go. And an Army Painter Dark Tone for the eyes. And then just, yeah. Rubbing back a few little layers that is sort of peeking through, and that does the model. Thank you. Yeah. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so you never miss another video. And again, help me reach 500 subscribers so I can do my 2-night